Man, another quiet day for now. Wait, why do I feel electricity in the air? Oh shit. Jesus, big eye! Can you please warn me next time you're gonna show up in my office like this?
Alert at Containment Observation Facility.
Oh, lords. That AI is going to be the death of me. Alright, what do we have here? This is Detective Log 4BIO. Or Abiotic Factor also works. My mission here appears to be to disguise and infiltrate a secret facility that bases itself down in the depths of the Australian desert. I will be an intern going by the name of John. Let's see what happens. My disguise is waiting for me at the portal hop. Personally, I don't think anything is going to happen to me, but just in case, I have my key and password on my desk. This is Detective Noir, out. Detective's Log Continuation 4BIO. Alright, I've entered a facility as John. The Cascade facility is now being surveyed by me until. Well, guess I gotta fix another issue. Aliens and nut jobs infiltrated and broke everything. If you're gonna fix it yourself, as I always say. Detective out. Hello, everybody. My name is Detective Noir, and I want to talk to you today about a game I love called Abiotic Factor, and how it perfectly encapsulates survival gameplay mixed with mystery and horror elements. How the game itself rewards progression and even further rewards shortcuts on open paths to have the time it takes to get to certain places. This is especially common with the tram system that you can unlock somewhat early in the game. I want to take a moment and explain my love for the game, what it does perfectly, then go down the pros and cons I have made to show you, the viewer, how wonderful the game is without my biased viewpoint on it, and to keep it as professional as possible. When you start the game, you get the choice of two things when creating your character: a list of classes, quote unquote, or jobs, and a special perk list that reminds me a lot of my favorite game, Project Zomboid. Each job that you can choose has extra levels and special perks that encourage the player to go into that playstyle that the class appears to go for. Such an example of this are the two main jobs I choose for myself: Archotechnic Consultant and Paratheoretical Physicist. The consultant job, when chosen, gives you the following perks: 7 starting points, plus 2 in construction, a 1 in strength, and 3 in crafting. A 50% increase in construction experience as well. And, starting out, you get the Builder's Gloves as an item. So when choosing this job, it is highly encouraged to go and play as a builder archetype. Be the Bob the Builder the game knows you can be. Then, the Physicist gives you 8 points. Starting out, and the perks, like a plus into throwing, crafting, and sneaking, even the game itself suggests that you play more like a rogue, throwing daggers and darts more than anything else. Even the bonus to throwing and crafting experience still highly encourages you to do so. Then, There's the trait set that you can choose from after you choose a starting job. For this particular example, I myself chose the summer intern job, which gives you a starting pool of 12 points. These are There are 28 traits that you can mix and match from with your available point pool. My personal list has always been wrinkly brain meat, self defense, and hobbyist chef. Then there is the other half of traits you can take that are the weaknesses. That gives you extra points. I usually take painfully oblivious and weak bladder. This should give me enough points for me to grab an extra trait, which I usually take, called the night owl. Now, besides the amazing character creation, I still have one or two things I would complain about, but that will be later on in the video. For now, let's move on to something I personally love about the game. The crafting and progression you do in the game has to be one of the most immersive and rewarding mechanics I've ever had the pleasure of interacting with. When starting out, you don't know any of the hundred of recipes you could get in the game. After a little while, you will unlock the crafting bench, and here is where everything comes into play. Upgrades, more advanced crafting recipes, and even more. Then there's the progression that you go through in the game without spoiling too much. Here is your warning now. If you have not played Abiotic Factor, click off the video now. I highly recommend grabbing the game and playing it for yourself before you watch this video. Now, with that out of the way, allow me to read you a scene I wrote down when you first enter the manufacturing wing. When you finally craft your makeshift armor, weapons, and resources, you go and finally unlock the manufacturing wing. In the wing, you finally walk through the long hallways and dark corridors before you hear the echoing gunfire hitting glass. You come upon a massive crane being fired upon an entrenched machine gun built on the top of a bridge connecting two buildings. And that's what you see when you first enter the manufacturing wing. And then there's the tram system that you can unlock after sneaking past the crazed guards, eventually meeting up with the blacksmith. You talk to him, then see a level 1 hacking pad to your right. You can unlock it and see a tram station along with the tram waiting. You take it back to its original place, and voila! You have unlocked a shortcut to the main office area. The game is so well refined in its progression and its upgrading that it basically snowballs the player into continuing to play the game, to unlock and progress more, to explore the Cascade facility, and to figure out as to why everything went to shit upon your first day of working there. Now, with my personal ups about the game, let me tell you about its pros and cons, of which I have gathered into a neat little page to read out to you. Pros. Number 1. The game highly encourages continued play to where a simple 10-hour playtime can easily snowball into hundreds of hours due to captivating gameplay and story. 2. The immersive crafting and upgrading system of having to gather materials and unlock crafting recipes by guessing and combining different materials to make your resources, weapons, and armor. 3. The game has an amazing base building system that, again, highly encourages the player to continue playing and figuring out which item and chest go where to maximize efficiency. The game, Number 4, the game heavily encourages different playstyle with the different jobs that you can choose from. This will also be in the cons for reasons. Number 5, crafting certain armor sets and equipping certain trinkets will give you amazing buffs that you can mix and match. Now, with the good out of the way, here are the cons. Con number 1. The game's job list has no real benefits to encourage to continue that playstyle in the mid to late game areas of the game. My own personal experience from this is I went to late game as a physicist, and everything that I have done has led up to the main boss of the game. Spoiler warning, has led up to the main boss of the game, and I can't melee the boss. Even though I've dumped most of my points and most of my time into unlocking melee, blunt, and sharp weaponry. Now to con 2,
Gaining experience in the game is so slow that the community, from what I read and have seen in videos regarding the game, all highly encourage you to increase the experience gain speed to 2.5 or a little lower to make it tolerable. Con number 3. Certain recipes that you can unlock in the early game you won't be able to craft until much later when you finally find other recipes to craft the resources necessary to craft the original recipe. Con number 4. Combat in the game feels a little weak. Certain enemy types do have resistances against certain weapon types, but still, using any of the ranged weaponry outside of a gun feels weak. Using any of the blunt weapons without the bull charge perk feels weak. And con number 5. Without certain levels and perks from the skill tree, you feel the consequences of that. This ties into con number 2, but still, the skill tree itself feels very barren, and not at all rewarding unlike the rest of the game. Now, with the pros and cons out of the way, on to my own personal gripes and nitpicks about the game. Now, my personal gripe about the game is that the experience gain is so fucking slow, I have wasted away on my first save file trying to up my fortitude skill. I have found in my first save file that it is literally faster for me to hoist a shield up and run at a security bot with no armor on and get so much more XP that way than anything the game suggested me. Another nitpick I have is, holy shit, the heavy weapons need a buff or an entirely new rework. Because, god, they are so unfun to use. And it makes no sense in the progression timeline as well. In order to use them, you need a strength skill of 8 to even use the Peccary Club that you can unlock at the start of the game. And again, the skill tree. When I first played the game and I saw the skill tree, my first reaction to seeing it was, oh, is this like the first page of skills I can get? But no, that's it. That's all you get for the entirety of the game, from start to finish, level 1 to 20. Okay, with my own personal nitpicks out of the way, let me just say, don't let my personal opinion influence what you do. If you want to play the game, go for it. I highly encourage it. If you don't like survival games, then that's okay. Thank you for the view, but you can click off now. Now, here's where I will end the video and give you more gameplay nonsense to watch without my wretched voice in the way. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I hope you like, subscribe, and bye-bye!
This is Dr. Derek Lance. One of the most interesting aspects of the 173's life cycle is how rapidly it evolves. The high-energy conditions of our universe compared to the torpid energetics of Antiverse 2 appear to accelerate their growth immensely. It's humbling, if not a little frightening, to watch life forms alter so quickly. The explosion of Antiverse flora in reactors was far from an isolated event. It goes to the very nature of life in that realm.